Hey guys, how's it going? It's Bill back with another edition of FilmHook. A quick one here. A DVD that I picked up a couple of days ago is the Adam Wingard directed and Simon Barrett written You're Next. It was a film which came out in 2011. It was released into American theatres in August 2013. It came out over here in Europe a little short time after that. Now the movie, the premise is it's a low budget slasher flick. It's kind of marketed as a bit of a horror comedy, a black comedy, something like that. The film takes place over the series of an evening. You've got a family which they are obviously very wealthy, mother and father. They live in a big sprawling estate. It's in the middle of nowhere and nobody nearby except for one neighbour. The film, the brothers and the sisters, everybody's coming together. There's obviously a lot of tension in the family. They all come together for a dinner, and during the dinner stuff happens where the family start to get picked off one by a number of people who are sort of outside the house. They're dressed sort of like soldiers or SWAT team members, but they've got animal masks on. It's quite gory and quite gruesome. Now the film itself is divided into two parts really. You've got the first part of the movie which is more to do with sort of setting it up. And the first part of the movie I hated. I absolutely detested every single member of this family. There were no redeeming qualities in them whatsoever. They were all moany. The acting was so bad it was laughable. This was really terrible movie. I was really ready to just kind of turn it off halfway through. I wasn't really enjoying it whatsoever. There's a bit of gore and a bit of gruesome stuff, and that was pretty cool. It was fine. But I think kind of halfway through what happens is you've got one of the characters played by Sharni Vinson. She's this sort of Australian chick. She's the girlfriend of one of the guys whose parents are holding this party. The rest of them seem to fall apart, but she takes upon herself to sort of man the defences of the house, make up some weapons and sort of, fight back against, the home invaders. So from once that starts to happen, the movie does kick into a different kind of gear. So we've a film of two parts really. First really bad part and the second part which isn't so bad. When she fights back, some of the traps she lays, they're quite good, they're quite ingenious. She's kind of the most badass of all the characters, and she's certainly kind of one of the most sympathetic, whereas her boyfriend and a few of the others in the house, you're really just hoping that they'll get off as soon as possible. I mean, these people are so annoying, it's just, you wouldn't believe it. So the film goes into the second half. You've got her running around and she's, as I said, manning the defences. She's, fighting back against, some of the guys who are invading the house. And there's a plot twist in the end. Now, the film for me was really badly acted. The film is a low budget movie. It was made for about $1 million. It made back about 26 million in the US alone. Far be it for me to say that the movie wasn't successful. It certainly was. And it was probably one of the more profitable movies from last year. However, as I said, the acting in the movie is really bad. The horror is like, they try to sort of, do these jump scares where it's all quite loud. But to be perfectly honest with you, they telegraph the scares so far out that you know what's coming. I mean, it's not original in any sense, and the scares are like really telegraphed. So you do know well in advance who's going to die and pretty much how they're going to die. You're sort of walked up the garden path towards it. For my view, I love a good horror film. I'm more to do with sort of thrillers and suspense than sort of all out gore. Some of the deaths are pretty gruesome in here, but they're done very well. The special effects are fantastic. I won't argue with that. But the twist in the end isn't bad either. All in all, I thought this was a really poor movie, and I'd come to it with high hopes because a number of people I know had seen it and they really urged me to check it out. They thought it was a very good film. They thought it was in some ways quite original, or certainly kind of, so bad it's good, because it is low budget and sort of maybe a little bit B-movie. However, I have to say I didn't enjoy the film. I thought it was very bad. I thought it was badly acted. I thought it was badly directed. I thought it was a movie which in my recommendation, you would pass on. This is not a film I recommend really for anybody, and maybe Sunday afternoon if you were bored, but I would definitely not be recommending You're Next to anybody. So guys, yeah, sorry to have such a bad review for that movie, but this is Bill with FilmHook, and that was my review of You're Next, which unfortunately gets 2 thumbs down from me.